Workshops didn't just grow our business, they stabilized it. Trust is so much harder to earn, and people are tired. Businesses that are winning right now aren't louder, they're closer. And in a trust recession, experience beats persuasion every time. We change the content every week to keep it fresh, which was a big mistake. Scale comes from repetition, not reinvention.
2026 is a trust recession. People aren't buying claims, they're buying experience. In this episode, Jessica explains why workshops are outperforming content, how rhythm creates predictable sales, and the biggest mistakes to avoid so you don't burn out.
Hey friends, and welcome back to The Digital Shift. I am Jessica Green, CEO and founder of the Self-Made Hub, business strategist, mentor, and your system-loving, straight-shooting guide to building a business that actually works without running you into the ground. And if you're new here, here's what I want you to know right away. I don't teach hustle, even though I used to call myself the hustle girl. We learn, we live and we learn, right? I don't teach post more and hope. And I don't believe real scale should feel chaotic, emotional, or exhausting. I help entrepreneurs build systems that create clarity, consistency in sales, and even when they're not online. And today's episode is what I'm so excited to talk about because it's not just theory and it's not just a trend. It's not something we tested once and moved on from. It's what we've learned by running free 1-hour workshops multiple times per month, consistently since October, and how that single decision to dig in completely changed the way we generate leads, build trust, and create predictable sales for our business. Because here's the headline: workshops didn't just grow our business, they stabilized it. So why scale in 2026 looks different? Let's zoom out for just a second, okay? 2026 is not a same strategy, new calendar year. Trust recession, right? We've done a couple episodes on that, and I want you to lean in and listen, okay? The online space is louder than it's ever been. Attention is way more expensive. Trust is so much harder to earn, and people are tired. There's too much out there and a lot of AI-generated garbage. So they've been sold to already. They've been rushed. They've been promised shortcuts that weren't actually short, or content that actually didn't deliver. So what's happening now is what I call the trust recession, and people aren't saying no, they're saying not yet. They're watching longer, they're waiting for proof, and they want experience. They want experience that you can give them. They want to experience you before they buy from you. And this is where so many entrepreneurs are getting stuck. I think the answer is more content, more platforms, more launches, more noise. But louder doesn't equal safer, and your buyers are looking for safe. And more visible doesn't equal more trusted. The businesses that are winning right now aren't louder, they're closer. They're giving experiences. And that's where workshops changed the game for us. And I definitely want to share it with you. So here's why I think workshops are outperforming everything else right now. Here's what a free workshop will do that content alone can't. They create proximity. When someone shows up live or even watches a replay, they're not just consuming your ideas, they're experiencing you. Ever hear the saying, they buy you before they buy the product? Well, here it is. Give them you. That's what they want to buy. They don't want to buy some AI generated garbage. They want to buy how you think. They want to buy how you teach. They want to buy how you explain. They want to buy how you lead. And in a trust recession, experience beats persuasion every time. People don't trust claims anymore. They trust moments. They trust, oh, that made sense. She explained that in a way no one else has. I finally feel clearer. That's why one workshop can build more trust than 30 posts. Not because it's fancy, but because it's real. The biggest surprise, rhythm creates sales. This, let me just back up for a second. 1 year ago, January and February of 25, Natasha and I went on this journey of doing a workshop every 2 weeks. We ran paid traffic to it. We changed the content every week to keep it fresh, which was a big mistake. Okay. I will tell you that consistency majorly pays off, and you're not looking for the same audience every single time. And that was one of our biggest mistakes. We're looking for new audience each time. Duh. So the workshop just needed to stay the same, and it needed to be on the one problem we solve for our avatar. Hey, quick pause before we continue, because if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, I love the strategy, but the tech still feels overwhelming, you're not alone. That's why Tech Savvy School exists. Tech Savvy School is where entrepreneurs learn how to actually build the systems behind a scalable business. Funnels, automations, workflows, and tools explained in plain language, step by step. No guessing, no duct taping platforms together anymore, just clarity and confidence with the tech that supports your growth. This podcast helps you think differently about your business. Tech Savvy School helps you implement what you're learning. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck on the tech side of things in your business, visit techsavvyschool.com and explore the trainings. All right, let's get back to the episode. We didn't just run workshops once this time. We decided to run them 3 times per month. I'd like to actually run them 4 times a month, but schedule, everything's about schedule. But at least it's consistent. And last year we were running we were being consistent every 2 weeks, but we were changing up the topic. And that just was so exhausting. We were burning out from it. So we want to keep the same core idea, the same structure, refined delivery. And what that created was something most entrepreneurs are missing: predictable rhythm. Here's what happens when you don't have rhythm. Sales feel emotional, and they were for us for a whole year. They were feeling real emotional. The roller coaster of entrepreneurship. You don't know when the next yes is coming. Every launch feels high stakes and high stress, and you start questioning if your offer is even like something that people want. That's emotional revenue, and emotional revenue is exhausting. Take it from me. It landed me in a beanbag for like months on end, licking my wounds. And I was determined that this time that was not happening. So in October, we decided to dig our feet in the sand. And I heard somewhere someone say, and maybe it came from Alex Hermosi or another great out there that's doing phenomenal work. And it was, pick one thing for 1 year. Well, 2 things. I heard this from 2 different people and said in different ways. One thing was pick one offer, one thing that you're going to offer, and put it on one platform for 1 year and fully focus on that, and you'll make $1 million. But the problem is we don't do that. And so this year we were determined. October, we stuck our feet in the sand and said, we're doing it. And then the other person said, if you really want to get get good at live content that converts, pick one thing you're selling, do it once a week for 1 whole year, and don't change other than, right? Optimizing the script, optimizing the language. We're not changing what you sell unless you're just completely down the wrong path. And really hone in on that. And it's difficult, I will tell you, not to get off track. It's difficult not to throw the towel in when it gets hard. But if you continue to be consistent, I will tell you, even in the first 60 days, so about 6 workshops in, you start seeing it gradually growing and the results. And you're like, oh, I'm not stopping now. Because if I just optimize this a little bit more for the next one, and a little bit more for the next one, and a little bit more for the next one, I'm going to end up hitting my targets. And what people generally do is do 1 or 2 and don't have enough people show up, or no one buys in the first couple, and they quit. And we did that. We made that mistake. So we decided not to do that this time. So again, we started off, we did the free workshop. We paid for paid traffic. We put money into it. We invested, and we had very few people show up. And no one bought. And we did that 3 or 4 times. Each time, though, we had more questions. We had more people showing up. And slowly, a couple of sales started trickling in. And then the next one, live buyers, 4 or 5. Next one, live buyers, 6 or 7. Next one, live buyers, 10 or 12. Next one, even more. And we're really close to hitting our target of what we want to have as live buyers every single time we do a workshop. Now, I will say in that journey, it is a roller coaster. So be prepared. There were some that we sold 7 and then we sold 4 and then we sold 10 and then we sold 7. So don't think that even if you fall backwards, that it means it's not working or not going to grow. Just show up again next week, make the changes. And we are going to be hosting an actual lab on how to build your framework, your live workshop sessions, and all the tech. Stay tuned. I'm going to get into that yet. So let's get back to the framework of this program. So we don't want emotional revenue, and emotional revenue is exhausting. But when workshops become part of your rhythm, sales will stop feeling desperate. Marketing stops feeling frantic, and your audience will know exactly what to expect. So consistency will build confidence for you and for them. Now, what I want to share with you, 3 workshops a month, what it did for us and for our brand. And I would even, like I said, I would do once a week if it would work in our schedule. So I highly recommend doing it once a week. I have some business friends in the industry that they do once a week, every single Thursday. And I really kind of wish we had that schedule, but for our schedule, it doesn't work. And that's okay. Just got to be flexible, but still be consistent. So let me tell you, first, authority shifted. We stopped feeling like we had to convince anyone. Teaching did the selling for us. And second, lead quality skyrocketed. People didn't come in completely cold. They came in already trusting us. Shorter sales cycles, better fit clients, less explaining. And third, content got easier. One workshop turned into social posts, emails, reels, talking points, no scrambling, no guessing. And fourth, team clarity improved and our scalability improved because we had this one thing we're focusing on. Our marketing had focus, our sales had a flow, our staff had a flow and a focus, not what are we pushing this week energy. Oh my God, I could give 20 lessons on why not to do that. And it's only learning from experience because I thought throwing noodles to the wall and hoping they'd stick was a good strategy. And it wasn't. It cost us time. So let me help you speed up your time and let's not do it that way. Okay. So workshops did not just grow our list, they organized our business. But I'll tell you, if I could do the math right now, we have about 500 people register for our workshops every time we have one. So 3 times a month. So that's 1,500 new cold leads come into our system. And if I wanted to turn the faucet on, because we've got this nailed down now, I could spend more money on ads. I could turn the faucet on and I could have 1,000 people on registering every single time. Easy peasy. All it is more ad spend at this point. So if I get the return, once we get to our goal of so many sales per, we will up our ad spend again, right? And we didn't start at the ad spend we're at now. Back in October, I want to say we were spending like between 500 and 1,000 maybe on our first couple. Then we realized, okay, this is working a little bit. Let's up our ad spend. We started spending 1,000. And then we started moving it up from there. And when you can start to get predictable sales from these, it won't matter what your ad spend is. If I know that my product is X amount of dollars. And if I get so many people on live and I drive the data and the numbers and I get so many people on live and I sell them and I sell a certain percentage, then I know what my break even point is. And I know what my make money point is. And I can just spend more money on ads to get more people to make more money. Right. So there's a system to it. All right. So I want to give you some do's and don'ts. Do teach one outcome, one workshop, one promise, one clear win that goes to your avatar and serves one of their biggest needs. Clarity converts faster than complexity. We spent a year, 2 years putting all kinds of fancy things together. ChatGPT will give you fancy names for your workshop. It'll give you fancy outlines. Boring makes billions. I say it 3 times because boring makes billions. When we started to bring out the fancy, or I should say drop the fancy and bring out the simplicity, way more leads, way more conversions, way more sales, way more everything. Do number 2, run them on a rhythm. Same structure, same flow, same cadence. Scale comes from repetition, not reinvention. We've only learned what we have learned on how to make these how to make more people show up, how to get more people registered, how to make more people show up live, how to make buy, more people convert and process repeat, because we did it over week. We would have never learned those lessons. We would have never made the small shifts. And you don't change everything at once. Okay. Make small shifts every week or every live workshop. And then you just keep refining it. So build it once and then refine your registration, refine your follow-up, refine your conversion path. You should not be rebuilding from scratch every single time. We did that. That's a big mistake. Okay. Let's talk about the mistakes. Don't run workshops without the tech. Please don't do it without the tech. This is the biggest one. If you're doing this without systems, without automation, without strategy, you're working too hard for the result. You need automated registration, automated reminders, automated follow-up, and a clear conversion path. Tech doesn't make workshops cold. It makes them worthwhile. Oh my gosh. Automating it, best thing you'll ever do. Number 2, don't treat it like a webinar. This is not a slide dump. This is not a pressure pitch. Teach, serve, lead. Definitely have some slides because people are visual. Definitely teach them something. And if you're in our workshop, we'll teach you a ton of strategy. So we're going to do a lab to teach you how to run a workshop, a little backwards. And we'll probably do a workshop to sell you on how to get into our lab to teach you how to do a workshop. But you want to teach, you want to serve, you want to leave, and you want to cast visions. There's a purpose to a free workshop, and then there's a purpose to your training. And we want to make sure that you know the difference and you're not training too much on your free workshop. So we can go over that with you. Okay. Don't stop after one. One workshop's an event. Consistency turns it into a system. Scale doesn't happen from the first workshop. It comes from the 15th. I don't know what number we're on. I can't even quote that to you right now. But boy, we learned the most in this last round. We made some decent size adjustments in our scripting. We had the biggest conversion on this last one. We're making the smallest changes now, and I know we're going to convert even more on the next one. I'm going to tell you why this is our 2026 strategy, because it's working. We're not testing this anymore. Workshops are now a pillar of how we're going to grow. They anchor our lead generation. We have more leads than we even really know what to do with right now. We have sales consistently that we can count on. We have a community of people who are starting to really learn what the Tech Savvy School is and what we can provide for people looking for help with GHL Go High Level. Okay. Program enrollment is way up. They're simple, they're powerful, and they work in a trust recession. We are not chasing what's new. We are doubling down on what is converting with integrity. Okay. Now, because so many people kept asking, how are you doing this? How is it so clean? How does it convert without pressure? We're launching a 4-week workshop lab. I know that's a little confusing. We do labs to teach you how to do the things we're doing. And we really wanted to back up and teach you how we're doing the actual workshop. So it is a lab to teach you how to do a workshop. Inside of it, we're going to help you design the workshop, build the tech and automations, automate all the follow-up from it, create the trust bridge into your offers, done with you. Live sessions, built correctly, no duct tape. If workshops are a part of your 2026 strategy, or you want them to be, build them once and build them right. You can join the waitlist. We'll put the link below for the next live lab on teaching you how to implement workshops into your business. So let me leave you with this. Real scale doesn't feel louder. It feels calmer, cleaner, and more predictable. Workshops didn't add pressure to our business, like literally removed it. And in a short period of time, if 2026 is your year for consistency, clarity, and real growth, this strategy is so worth building for you. Hopefully, I will see you in the lab, and tune in to our next episode of the Digital Shift podcast. I'm Jessica Green, and I can't wait to see you soon. If you're getting value from these conversations, don't let this be the only episode that you listen to. Every episode of this podcast is designed to help you build a smarter business, one with real systems behind the scenes, not just ideas, motivation, or hustle. We break down what's actually working right now when it comes to automation, content, follow-up, and scaling without the burnout. If you want to see how all of this comes together in real life, I highly recommend watching the Self-Made Hub demo. Inside the Self-Made Hub, you'll see how entrepreneurs turn content into leads, and leads into conversations, and conversations into consistent sales using simple automated systems that don't feel overwhelming or cold. You can watch the demo anytime at self-made.biz/demo. Then queue up another episode, because the shift doesn't happen from one conversation. It happens when you start connecting all the dots. And I'll see you in the next episode.